You know, sometimes I say good morning, and then sometimes I say we're back. But you know, I like to open the show with saying we're back. It's Friday morning. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, Georgia. We love it. Nice warm air outside today. I don't know exactly what the weather will be. I don't want to play a weatherman, or I don't want to play that on TV or at any time. And I just don't want their job right now in North Georgia. I think they're actually wearing masks right now, the weather guys from Atlanta and the ladies, because they don't want recognized because they keep forecasting rain. But that being said, we are back here this morning at Circuit World in Blue Ridge. I'm your host, BKP. Having a great time opening the show this morning. Feel great. Dr. Whaley is back here with us. We were having a conversation about his travels, and he'll be in with us here with Ask the Doc at 8:05, just a couple minutes. Then at about 8:40, around that area, we'll have the All-Star Political Panel with Jane, Bruce, and Rick. And also, at that time, I'll be making another announcement where concerning Candace. You have gotten to know Candace on the All-Star Political Panel as she's moving to doing something else with our network, and we're going to talk a little bit about that a little later. And then after the All-Star Political Panel, wonder if we have anything to talk about, we'll have the North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton. And I don't know, Josh, right now Jesse got an opportunity to play a double role. We had 4 puppies last week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, and Jesse stuck around, helped us keep some of those puppies together from jumping around last week. But at 8:30, the North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton, one of my favorite segments throughout the week, getting together with Jesse. And then the Star, we end the week with the Star from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge, our pet of the week at 9:45. There you go. Okay, we have a lot on the All-Star Political Panel. We find out, you and I may have already known this, but we find out finally publicly that the acting FBI director was involved and a part of a coup against the President of the United States. Yes, these are things you hear about in other countries, but the FBI was actively, through Andrew McCabe and the Department of Justice, and maybe Rod Rosenstein, as I call him, the acting Attorney General in the second in command in the Department of Justice. They were in discussions on how to enact the 25th Amendment, and we'll discuss that, which is a coup. And I hear coup in other countries, but I would never think our intelligence community in some of these departments would be getting together to maybe oust our president. Wow, we got a lot to talk about there. Deal or no deal? How do you feel about the president going to sign this deal that was brought to him by Richard Shelby of Alabama, which I've been pretty open that I don't care a whole lot for, and that's the so-called Republican, and Patrick Leahy from Vermont, the Democrat. The deal takes us backwards. I'm scratching my head, Mr. President, but I'm going to wait for Rick and Bruce and Jane and let them run with it, and let's see what they think and what you think. What kind of deal is this that you're taking and signing? But then again, let's not forget the Republicans had 2 years to get the money together. They were in control for border security, and they let you, me, and our president down. So I don't know. On one hand, I'm upset with the president. On the other hand, I think he's got the best he's going to get. I don't know. We're going to hear from the All-Star Political Panel on that. And what about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez already losing 25,000 jobs for her district? Now, there's a lot that you can unpack there, but Amazon HQ2, right? We waited all this time for them to decide where they were going to go with their HQ2. Atlanta was in the running for it. Maybe they'll get it now, right? Because guess what? In Queens, where it's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's district, Amazon picked up the phone and called Mayor de Blasio and said, you know what? Just keep your deal. We're going somewhere else. 25,000 jobs she's already lost in her district. What would happen if you found out that you lost $25,000 jobs in your district? I don't know. There you go. Boy, don't tell me we don't have a lot to talk about. But we're going to take a break right now. I'm your host, BKP. And pitchers and catchers report. I'm sitting here with Josh, and he looks like he's getting ready to come out of the dugout any minute. He's almost in full Braves uniform, folks. For you at home, full Braves uniform this guy's in, and he can't wait to get down to go take pictures of pitchers and catchers and all the Braves next week. And he's going to be telling us about that when he returns from his week at Braves spring training. When's it start? When are you leaving? When are you going to be there?
My first official day will be tomorrow.
So he's going to be down there tomorrow with the pitchers and catchers and all the Braves taking his pictures. Josh is in full uniform. Hey, I got to go. We'll be right back. Dr. Whaley, Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley on the other side of these commercials.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The leaves aren't the only thing falling in Jasper. The prices are falling too at Days Chevrolet. Now during the model year end clearance, get huge savings up to $14,000 off Chevy Silverado Crew Cab and save up to $7,000 off new Chevy Cruze. The prices are falling on every 2018 Chevy in stock during the model year end clearance. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP, and we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, Georgia. It's going to be a great day, I promise. I'm not going to try to play a weatherman. Would you want to do that right now?
No, I wouldn't. No.
And we're glad to have our Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. We appreciate Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. Glad to have you back, Dr. Whaley.
I'm glad to be back.
Are you?
Yeah, I flew too much.
Yeah, so you were telling me a little bit. You were telling me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just too long to get to Hawaii. There's nothing in Hawaii we haven't got in Florida or over on the Georgia coast, so they don't need to go.
Somebody said to me one time, I want to go to Hawaii, and I think it's great. It's beautiful.
Have a
okay to
nice
go to
time.
Hawaii, but they said I've never been to Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii. I said, all right, but realistically, once you go, I mean, all you got to do is hit the coast of Florida.
Yeah,
they got
Georgia.
They got the same 7-Elevens.
Yeah.
They got some palm trees.
I was there in Vietnam here, and it was a lot less crowded. But anyway, it's too far to fly. I wanted to say one thing. You've got your expert panel coming in here, and the first thing I heard this morning when I got up about 5:30 and started listening to stuff is, does the president have the power to elicit an emergency wall building?
Yes.
Right? Or we might go to court. And I'm right at the end of a book, This Kind of War, written about 6 years after the Korean War. And our man Truman put troops into South Korea when the North Koreans came across the border on his own by executive action. Until this day, we've never declared war against Korea.
Right.
If you'll remember. So we spent billions and billions, spent 150,000 men into Korea and lost 38,000 of them killed and had everything else with the same amount of congressional backing that Mr. Trump will have when he builds his wall. So that's a long time ago, and I say go build the wall.
Well, I will say the argument will start, but he plans to declare a national emergency on the southern border, and obviously the legal battle will start.
Nobody gave a legal battle to Truman.
Well,
They bitched and moaned, and they had all these isolationists and stuff, but the country said, okay, we're going. I mean, it's a different time. But, I mean, I don't want to get into that. That's your expert panel. But I do want to say that he's not doing anything that hadn't been done again and again and again. And the best example I can think of is that Truman deal, to go to war.
We're going to find out, are we not? We're going to find out.
We got to talk about thick blood, man. Go ahead.
Thick blood.
Yeah.
Okay, again, thank you, Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment, Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. And our first question today is, I am a 32-year-old male. After routine blood work last month, my doctor has decided to send me to a specialist due to having a high red blood count, red cell blood count. His concern was that, what is that big word?
Polycythemia.
Polycythemia. Okay, polycythemia could be the cause for the high count. My appointment is not until the end of the month. Is this something I should be concerned about?
Yes.
There you go.
You know the next question? All right. Now, we're going to pick on old Josh over there. If I say molasses in January, you know, there's different sayings. I say molasses in January, or if I say 30 weight oil in January, what does that conjure up in your mind? Thick, right?
Thick.
Very
yes.
thick. Doesn't pour well. Okay, show that first picture. This first picture here is a picture of 3 test tubes, okay? This is the simple part. On the left-hand side, you'll notice the red part is about 45% of the total amount of blood. The top part's called plasma.
Right, I'm with you.
All right, once the red count falls, that's called anemia.
Okay.
When the red count rises, that is polycythemia. So
polycythemia.
Yeah, poly means many,
right.
Cythemia means cell. So this guy has polycythemia. So what he really means is, do I really have polycythemia as a disease coming from my bone marrow, or is my blood thick for another reason? Secondary polycythemia or polycythemia of other causation. So show that next one there. We're not going to spend much time on it, but I'm going to give you some really interesting, this is a great question because it opens up so many things we've talked about here for so long. First of all, what's the definition of polycythemia? The normal hematocrit in men is about 45 to 46, women about 43 to 45. That's the percentage of the red cells in there. And by World Health criteria, when men get above 49, it's a diagnosis of polycythemia. When women get above 48, it's a diagnosis of polycythemia. Now I'm going to use a word you've never heard before, and that word is blood rheology. And rheology is the flow characteristics of a fluid. So I think we've talked before, if you've got a garden hose with water running through it, the water on the edge of garden hose. The water on the edge of the hose is flowing slower than the water in the middle because of the friction on the cell wall, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once you get to 47% in the percentage of red blood cells, the blood flow characteristics fall. Now, they gave you an extra percent or two here on making the diagnosis of polycythemia, but the actual number where that begins to occur is at 47. Well, now, when the blood doesn't flow good to the brain, or it doesn't flow good to the muscle, you begin to have, the first thing people would be fatigue. If it gets really thick, you can have blood clots in the legs, blood clots in the lungs, blood clots in the heart or brain, and you die. So once you've got polycythemia, you got to try and figure out, why is it thick? Is it real or is it not real? And what do I do about it? So we're going to show that next one. We're going to do easy first, okay? So if you look at this, we're talking about here, on the left-hand side, it says you got more than 50% red blood cells. On the right-hand side, you've got an increased red blood cell volume, meaning that the body has too many red blood cells. Because when you stick this in your arm, pull it out, you're just measuring it in the vein. On the left-hand side there is relative polycythemia, and we see that relatively frequently in people who are dehydrated. They've had diarrhea, they've had vomiting, they've been working outside. So you have to do a couple of things first. You got to make sure that the patient's not dehydrated, they haven't been sick. You get them to come back in the office to get well hydrated, and then if you get it done again, all right, now whip over to this big old ugly one here. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, except that at the bottom it's got a lot of stuff we talk about all the time. So we're going to talk about first secondary polycythemia, because most of the patients that we see do not have the disease polycythemia vera, which is what that person's asking a question about is worried about. And at that age, it is more likely that they have polycythemia vera than one of these secondary ones because of the young age. Now, if this young man was taking testosterone or taking some supplement he got off the internet, which we talk about all the time, that's supposed to build up. You see it every day. You know, is this going to increase your vigor and she's going to like it too, mega men? Well, all of that stuff is converted to testosterone. It's the truth. It's converted to testosterone, and a testosterone raises your red count, and it can kill you. But anyhow, so let's just take a quick look at some of the reasons here. Wear your glasses to BKP. Some of the reasons for secondary polycythemia. Well, the first one I'm going to make you look at there is
obesity.
Obesity and hyperventilation.
Why do I always have to look at that one every week?
Every week I got to talk. I got to get on my
soapbox. You're okay. Go ahead.
All right. Now, what's the second one we talk about all the time? Sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea.
All right. Okay. Now, the next one is carbon monoxide poisoning. Well, you think that's a bad leaky muffler, don't you? That's
no, but that says heavy, including heavy smoking.
Yes, including heavy smoking. Yes. All right. So, carbon monoxide in a leaky muffler, or that's an electric fire we got here at Circuit World. But if you had a gas fire that was improperly vented and it was putting carbon monoxide out, and they came in there, everybody was dead the next day, it's because carbon monoxide irreversibly binds to the red cell, and when it comes back around the next time, there's no spot for oxygen to get on it, so your oxygen level falls. So cigarette smoking can lead to polycythemia just by the smoking. And then the one at the top of the list, chronic pulmonary disease, also subsequent to either cigarette smoking, working in the mines in Copper Hill and getting scarring or something like that. All right, lastly, way back, you go back to the Mexico City Olympics. We didn't do well in Mexico City because Mexico City is a mile high. The next set, the Olympic Committee got themselves a training facility in, where's the training facility? Boulder, Colorado, which is above a mile high, so that they could go out and train for 3 or 4 months before all Olympics. Being at that altitude, raised their red count, legally raised their red count. Okay, after they showed that raising the red count helps you run the 100-meter dash, that's when, about the time they began to be able to freeze blood. We had the first frozen blood at the hospital I worked in Da Nang, South Vietnam in 1968. But anyway, so then athletes began to donate their blood, freeze it in the freezer, get 2 units in there frozen, and then the night before the Tour de France, or the night before a marathon, they would get their own blood infused back into them. That was called blood doping. That would raise their count. They could run better. All right, still with me?
Yeah, very interesting.
Not good, yeah. All right, then they began to recognize that testosterone would do the same thing. The East Germans came up with all these testosterone-like drugs. They began to use those drugs, and we've talked once before about Lance Armstrong, who took cancer chemotherapy. He got a drug to keep his red blood cell count up while he was getting chemotherapy. After he got cured of testicular cancer and went back to riding the bike, he remembered that shot he had been getting that raised his red count when he had cancer treatment, and so he began to give himself that drug. It's called erythropoietin. Well, they had no way of testing for it, so he won 7 of these. They could test for testosterone, so anybody that was using that, they could test for it. They could test for blood doping then, because the thing you use to keep the blood from clotting can be detected. So testosterone they could test for, blood doping they could test for, couldn't test for erythropoietin or Procrit. And then after he quit winning, they came up with a test for Procrit, went back and got all of his urine out of the freezer, and every year he'd ever won, he'd had that drug. So the last one, and I'll go through all that because there are erythropoietin producing tumors. You don't have to read any of that, but they're in the liver and they're in the kidney, okay? So now that's the end of secondary polycythemia. So I think that the most common reason we see secondary polycythemia, and I probably see at least 1 or 2 new patients a week with secondary polycythemia, is from testosterone treatment or tobacco. Now, real polycythemia is a bone marrow genetic change. Get that big old fancy, that long thing and stick it up there. And it is complicated to get from the diagnosis of increased red cell mass with a guy that doesn't have lung disease, doesn't have anything else, and go through all these genetic tests to get down to the bottom to find out if you've got JAK2 positive myeloproliferative disorder. But if that's what you've got, then you are in a lifelong period of observation by physicians. So at the end of the day now, we've established that a blood count above, say, 50, we'll use that one, is not healthy, that there's lots of reasons for it other than a primary genetic disorder. Now we're going to get into how do you treat it. So, Josh, how do you treat thick blood?
Blood thinners?
You go donate blood. So you donate blood at the Red Cross if it's secondary polycythemia, or we take it off in the office. But primary polycythemia or polycythemia vera, the Red Cross won't take, because technically that's a malignant disorder. It's not really malignant, but they won't take it. So I always encourage my patients that say they've stopped smoking years ago, or they have sleep apnea and they got a high blood count. We can remove that in our office. But if we do, you end up with a charge of $1,000. If you go to the Red Cross and donate it, 3 people get good blood. 1 gets your red cells, 1 gets your platelets, 1 gets your plasma, and you get a free orange juice and 2 cookies. So it's my opinion that you're better off going and donating blood at the Red Cross than you are by letting me draw it off in my office and charge you $1,000. Is that enough about polycythemia? Got it?
Well, that's enough, but that's very interesting, and I appreciated that. That was very good information. We appreciate that question out there. And again, we thank Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. And our second question of the day is, I have had increasing issues in my lower back pain, and some numbness in my legs when sitting or laying certain ways. Someone told me it might be spinal stenosis causing this. What is spinal stenosis, and is it serious?
Okay. Well, first of all...
And by the way, when you write the questions, don't say it is. I'm not taking a task, but somebody that's dyslexic like me that has to turn those two words around in my brain to read it. Is it serious?
Okay, well,
sorry, didn't mean to say that.
Unfortunately, the advertisements on television for laser back surgery always use the term spinal stenosis, like every heart disease is the exact same kind. First of all, show this big old chart here. This is the largest cause of lost time from work and the single biggest cause of disability and disability payments in the world, in the United States. Chronic low back pain. And spinal stenosis, go to this next one because this will shock you. Here's this big old chart. And if you'll look on the left side where it says mechanical low back pain, there are 15 things there, right? Only one of those 15 is spinal stenosis.
Right.
Every other thing there has that exact set of symptoms. I've got the world's worst back. I'm in pain all the time. I'm not numb, but I've got facet hypertrophy. But if you look at these three columns in the non-mechanical spine disease, the very first the first 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 6 are malignant.
Right. Okay.
So this isn't something benign. Somebody with this disorder, the back pain and the numbness, goes to see Dr. Tidman today. They don't stay home. Okay? One more time. That's not something that you lay around with and don't and treat conservatively. When they go back to this, you don't have to go back to this thing, but we've said every time for the acute low back injury, you don't go see Dr. Tidman.
Right.
You stay active. You give yourself 2 weeks. You don't take to the bed. You take Tylenol or something. You don't need an MRI. You don't need anything. But that when they said numbness, that changes this from I've got a bad back. I'm overweight.
That's what I was thinking as you were talking. I was thinking to myself, numbness is the key word in this.
Hey, everybody's got a bad back.
Well, I say you have shoulder pain, you can have pain. Your knee has pain today.
Yeah.
Your back has pain, and there are different pains. But the word numbness is what changed this.
Exactly.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's the big deal. But if you go on and look now, we're going to leave the right-hand side out of it because this is everything like endometriosis and everything else. But a bunch of these are malignant. All of those are mechanical, and the big deal is the numbness. Now we get pull up that next one here because the thing that you really need to realize is that the labeling of disorders that becomes popular frequently gives you an unwarranted sense of comfort, I guess I'd say, because the use of the term spinal stenosis, that disorder is so common that you kind of think, well, it's like everybody else with the bad back, and lots and lots and lots of bad backs aren't that simple. But if you look at, there is 2 pages, this next one, of terminology used in spine, disc pathology, and back pain. There's 2 solid pages, single space, small lines of different things that can cause this in the back. And I wanted to go just show that one that's got here's the easy part. We're going to look just at the top. This is a complicated thing here, but that looks like a pork chop over here. So you've got a disc, you've got all the little places the bones get, you've got these ligaments in there. So there's 7 things that can go on in that back right there that can cause the exact same amount of pain. When that causes numbness, because this is not going to cause numbness, that's not going to, the hypertrophied facet, that's what I've got. None of those are going to cause numbness. The disc might cause numbness, the malignancy might cause numbness. As soon as they said numbness, it's time to go to the doctor. Go see Ray Tidman. All right, so that's enough of that. You want to get into medical news next or not?
At this time, if you're new to the show, we're glad to have you. If it's your first time viewing with Dr. Whaley at this time, after we complete our 2 questions, Dr. Whaley takes a minute and lets us know what's new out there in the medical world and what's going on that maybe he breaks a lot of news here, folks. A lot of news is broke right here on this little show in Blue Ridge on Friday morning.
Well, you're getting ready to see 2 of them that we discussed in the last 3 weeks. Okay, so this all comes out yesterday. What's that one say?
Aspirin can help prevent colon cancer, but many at risk don't take it.
Was that 2 weeks ago we were talking about aspirin preventing colon cancer?
Now, am I okay that I take my low-dose aspirin?
Low-dose aspirin,
I do it.
that's
okay.
It. All right, now the next one.
HPV might be behind vocal cord cancers in young
All right, young. Okay, so we've been talking about that HPV shot, which was for kids under 12. And in the last couple of months, I told you, they've now said anybody under age 50 should get the HPV shot. Now, people in our age group, and I'm 79 this week, we've about 90% of us or 95% of us have antibodies to HPV. So at some place or other, we have been infected with HPV. Well, I haven't had vocal cord cancer yet or anything else, but we are at much greater liability to it than any of our kids who had the shot. So I'm one more time telling you, Mama, when the doctor tells you to let your kid have this immunization or that immunization, get the HPV. Now, last one here, we were way ahead of the curve on that.
More men holding off on prostate cancer surgery.
All right. You remember we've been talking about the risk factors for prostate cancer. That was about 4 weeks ago, and what to do about it. And I said, to hammer everything's a nail, right? So if it says neurosurgeon or orthopedic surgeon and you take the back, somebody's going to cut on you. And if you go to Ray Tidman, he might tell you to go do exercise. But the idea that prostate cancer can be treated by observation, there were 7% of prostate cancers treated by observation 10 years ago. 45% of cancers of the prostate are treated by observation today. That's a huge change. And you heard it first here.
You said it. I never brought it up. You said it, so I just want to say something. Did you say 79?
Yeah.
All right, 79?
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah. You better hurry up and get to work.
I had.
You laid out last week.
I did. I was very busy.
You gotta get up the hell to work. I can't tell you, and I want the folks out there here. I appreciate you very much. I really do, and we know our audience appreciates you coming in here.
That's old.
And sharing this.
79.
Caught me off guard. You get around. Actually, I have zero excuses. Every time I see you, I realize I have zero excuses. All right, we want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. A couple things we want to let you know. If you have a question for the doc, you send it to info at fetchyournews.com. Put in the subject line, Ask the Doc. Send your question over. We'll get to it, and we'll get it to Dr. Whaley so he can get you an answer. Also, if you would like to share these segments, we do archive them and record and archive them on our YouTube channel. That's FYN TV. Fetch Your News YouTube channel. Go to the playlist, and look for Ask the Doc, and they're all there. There's a bunch, and you can share them all with your friends, starting with this one today. So we thank you very much. We thank you for Georgia Cancer Research Center, Northside Hospital. We thank you, Dr. Whaley. We got to get you up on the hill.
Right.
Okay.
Got to get the expert panel in
here
and find out about
I've
the
got
wall.
Exactly. I've got to get the all-star panel in here because they are waiting. I wonder if they have anything to talk about.
Yeah, I think they do. I told you about the wall.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
the wall and President Truman.
All-star political panel right on the other side of these commercials. Take us a break, Josh.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Better days ahead.
The leaves aren't the only thing falling in Jasper. The prices are falling too at Days Chevrolet. Now during the model year end clearance, get huge savings up to $14,000 off Chevy Silverado Crew Cab and save up to $7,000 off new Chevy Cruze. The prices are falling on every 2018 Chevy in stock during the model year end clearance. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little,
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and here you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
It's the all-star political panel. Can't get it anywhere else. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
And
very much.
Did you enjoy your travels?
I enjoyed it very much.
Did you?
Yes.
Good.
We had a lovely time.
Lovely. Right.
Lovely weather.
Yeah, really, a little rain.
We don't want to hear about it.
So you put on the grass
We're
skirt
happy.
and
No.
thrashed your hips?
We do not want to hear about your weather because we have been,
Why did I miss that one?
an inch of rain here, an inch of rain
sent
there,
you a
so we don't
picture
want
a while ago.
we don't want to hear about no weather. Okay. Wonder if we have anything to talk about. So what we'll do is Monday through Thursday, I get all the time I want on the program to say how I feel, what I think, and sometimes get a little excited and give my opinion. But it's this time right here I like to give these guys an opportunity to pick a topic, go with it. Where do we want to start, Rick?
Coup d'etat.
Oh, thank you. Okay, good.
Coup d'etat.
Now explain. Now our folks out there don't have to have it explained to them. I know our audience, but we might have one or two. So
Okay.
let's dig in there a little bit. And explain.
Well,
that
when
to the
when
audience.
McCabe came out to start his book tour, he described how the inner workings of the top echelon of the FBI and the DOJ was working together to try to implement the 25th Amendment to show that the president didn't have the mental capacity
Unfit for office.
Unfit for office.
to continue
Article
as our
25
legally
or something.
voted in president of the United States. He came right out and said that.
Conspiracy.
McCabe initiated investigations. The DOJ and the and you want now. I know you wonder why every time the media, the deep state media, has a fit when the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, doesn't immediately sign on to all NSA, opinion, right? I, for one, think, it's time to push back against these behemoths, and he does. We find out that the acting director, along with Rod Rosenstein and a couple others, were actually meeting, Well, some say Stein, some say Steen, so I give him the
I
credit.
don't know what it is.
You cover both the bases.
Right, cover all.
Stein,
But
Steen,
the
Wine.
point is what you're going to, is they were actually orchestrating a coup.
Right, it was a low-level coup to try to, or high-level, however you want to put it.
Well, bloodless, though. Bloodless coup.
Yeah, a bloodless coup to try to overthrow a legally elected government official.
And
he just happened to be the president.
I understand in the meeting that they actually. Well, first of all, I think we're going to find out if Rosenstein really was going to wear a wire.
He's
5 times they said it was
Yes.
mentioned. This isn't just hearsay. This is firsthand information about the fact that they said you need to wear a wire going in there. You go meet with the president. It wasn't just I just flippantly said that.
like,
Did he
you want me to
flippantly
wear
say
a
it
wire?
5
You're crazy.
times? I don't think so.
I mean,
McCabe said he
stepping
said.
back, do you think McCabe is saying a lot of this stuff just to push his book?
Well, if he did,
Or
then
to
he ought to
save
be in
his
jail
butt.
because he's lying.
Well, these guys never go to jail, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
They know it.
I think that's going to change when Bill Barr, who just got affirmed yesterday, confirmed.
Bill Barr being our new attorney
general.
Now, I don't want to jump around too much, but you are leading into some good things because this is our new attorney general and the Department of Justice. We have a coup that we hear. Now, they had meetings, and in the meetings, I understand they were zeroing in on cabinet positions and saying this one may go with us.
Exactly, and Pence.
Right. This one may break.
Because
We'll never go with
they
it.
need the cabinet secretaries and the vice president to push the
Right.
the
And what the
25th Amendment.
What the 25th Amendment is, you get time to read it. And is there is something in our Constitution that if at a time the president is unfit to lead, could be unfit to lead. Realistically, a lot of people don't realize they enacted the 25th Amendment with Ronald Reagan when he got shot, right?
It was originally
And it
enacted during the Woodrow Wilson
administration. What they were trying to do was simply guard against something like an unforeseen stroke or a heart attack.
Like we have on the Supreme Court with RBG.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You barely can do the
But
job.
what I'm saying is, and I don't want to get this wrong, fact check me, but
it came out during the Woodrow Wilson administration.
But Reagan transferred power for a short period of time.
Yes.
A lot of Americans don't realize there was a short period of time that there was a transfer of power from Ronald Reagan. And when
they enacted the 25th
before
Amendment.
he went into surgery.
Correct.
Was that the Alexander Haig thing?
No, that was when Al Haig came out and told people he was in charge.
I'm in charge.
Hey, I got it.
I got this.
Oh, this is a fun group. I swear to God. That is the fun group. And I will tell you this. We'll get past that, but Ronald Reagan, the Reagan Diary, okay? Get a copy. I love the Reagan Diary. Something you can read a couple pages every day. You can just pick anywhere you want in his administration. But what Ronald Reagan writes about Al Haig in his diary is really enjoyable. Go and look up Al Haig, what Ronald Reagan writes during the time he was shot.
It wasn't laudatory.
When you kicked off this segment, you said, where do you want to go? I think, no, seriously, I think this is the most important thing in the news right now. You can take your walls, you can take your shutdowns.
I agree with you 100%.
I think it's irrelevant compared to that group of high-level individuals that have taken the time to try to take down the president.
What say you on the subject?
Oh, I say a lot. But
tell them what's.
Well, I think that they were doing all that for sure, but I think there was another element to the coup, and it would involve blood. I believe they had assassination plans for Trump, and one of them was just recently. People say that when Pelosi took her entourage of family of 93 to go out of the country, that was going to be a real attempt on Trump's life, and she would be out of the country. And then all they have to do is get rid of Pence, which wouldn't be hard because he's a lump on a pickle, and she'd be president. So
keep going, please.
Is that a mutated cucumber?
Yeah. I think that they're sinister and they're not above murder. They've murdered before. That's just a fact.
Jane, I think what you said, not to interrupt you, dear, but I think what you said is right in line. We can debate the wall and our opinion of national emergency versus the bill he's going to sign.
Yeah.
We could talk about anything else, but I think you're 100% right. Now, what you're saying is you feel there's been assassinations, attempts
several
that we're not aware of. I'm not shocked by that. I mean, it seems pretty tough what you're saying, but I'm with you because we're learning that I can't wrap my head around that the people from our FBI, Department of Justice, were talking about how to remove this person.
There was one reported, though. Do you remember way back in a motorcade? There was Trump. They were tipped off. Someone in the second car had a pistol, and he was gotten out of the car and arrested. You can look that up. That was one attempt.
What say you on this subject?
I'm just in awe of you guys going down this. I mean, I really don't have that big a feeling about it.
I'll show you something.
What you heard about McCabe and what the meeting and...
Yeah, but, I mean, I think we all know that government agencies for decades now have been doing stuff to get their own way. The IRS, Lois Lerner and that whole crew. They could do whatever they want against people, and nothing came of it. No convictions. They took the fifth, whatever it was. This has been going on for a long time. So I just,
I truly believe though that there's a new sheriff in town now, not Donald Trump, but Bill Barr.
Why do you feel that? Because you're strong about that, and you've said that several times. So share with our audience why you feel you're. Now I know you have some reservations on Barr. Do you not?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do. I know that. Okay.
Well,
but
I mean, the reservation that you've got is where he came from and who he served. He served under H.W. Bush.
No, the reservation I have is that he's been very close friends with Mueller for many, many years. So I'm saying
Well, it's an old boys club in
well,
D.C.
yeah. So there he is. Of course, he's with Bush. Bush. I mean, don't get me started on Bush. But here's Mueller saying, yes, Bob Barr, and Mueller and I have been very close friends. The Muellers and the Barrs, very close friends. Mueller, you look at his lineage. I mean, he was with uranium, then he covered for there, then he was FBI, and then he and Rosenstein, then he and Comey. I mean, it's all just like that.
It's incestuous.
And I think he has to have known that Mueller was piled up in a bunch of poo-poo. And then are sensitive or something, and now here he is going to have to say to his admitted best friend, "You're guilty." I mean, I think it's going to be hard for him to do that.
I think.
Okay, so
my
so
feeling
here's the
about Barr,
reservations.
yeah.
All right, because I knew Jane had reservations. I wanted to get out what they were, and I understand where you're going with that. But why do you feel? I mean, I'm like this with Barr. I'm hopeful. Okay, I'm hopeful. All right, I'll go with that. But you have been advocating more for him.
We have a mutual friend that you know.
Yes, I know that.
That knows him very well.
Right, we talked about that.
And he came when he was the AG under 41. He came and spoke to his group, and they befriended each other, and they've stayed in contact. This individual friend of ours contends that he has the innate ability to separate friendships with the rule of law. He said he is the most strict rule of law guy that you will ever see. So, that's as close as I can get to passing judgment on this guy without seeing any action.
I know where you come from because both you and I have been in both have been in the same meetings discussing Attorney General Barr with this individual, and that's what this individual just told us directly. You know, this guy is straight down the line, and you're going to see. So,
but who's going to lead an investigation of this? I mean, is this going to be a House committee that would start an investigation, or the Attorney General?
Well, something will have to be referred to him, because they don't just start things on their own, I don't think.
Okay,
do they?
but with the Democrats, on top of most
the
of the
Senate
committees.
can.
The Senate can. They said they're going to.
Yeah.
So you're hopeful. Barr is.
Well, Lindsey Graham has said right out of the box first day when McCabe came. I mean, half hour later, Lindsey Graham saying this guy's going to come back to appear in front of the Senate along with Rosenstein.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I understand that. And Congressman Doug Collins, our congressman, has actually made some comments, and has called this a coup and a coup attempt. I mean, our congressman called it a coup attempt on an interview he had yesterday.
Dershowitz has been all over it.
Absolutely. So I understand what you're saying, Bruce, because we're getting numb to some things. Mm-hmm. Right? Is that where you're at? It's
status quo. It has been for a long time.
And in the deep state internally has been doing this, whether it's through the IRS, whether it's through any of these behemoths that have been created.
Bruce and I, when we were on the show on Wednesday, when you had to go to your meeting.
After we calmed things down a bit.
Yeah, we talked, and I gave a shout out, ask Josh, I gave a shout out to George McClellan, because he wrote a brilliant op-ed piece, and you can find it on FetcherNews.com. It's called The Extent of the Deep State. And I tell you what, if you haven't read that piece, I think it's really, really telling, and it really kind of encapsulates when the Clintons started in Arkansas and with Whitewater. Mm-hmm. And Comey was involved then. He was the guy on that deal. And he befriended them, and he's been covering for them ever since. Lois Lerner, like Bruce said, you can take it all the way up the line, but it's a great read.
Well, like Rick, let me just say something here real quick at this time. Take this opportunity. Our news division, FetcherNews.com, has an opinion section.
Right.
Okay, you can write. I have people say something all the time. You can write for our opinion section. You send it into info@FetcherNews.com, and he's talking about an opinion writer, George McClellan, and a piece that he wrote. So you can go to FetcherNews.com. Just search George McClellan and you'll find all his opinion pieces. But if you have an opinion on anything that you want to write, send it to us and it can go on our opinion page. And trust me, we have millions of page views a month, and you will get your opinion out there.
As disturbing as this is,
disturbing.
is this going to get lost in the noise of the new bill and the wall and all that stuff? Is it going to be pushed to stage 4?
I think it's already lost because what they will do is I watched MSNBC this morning, and they will roll out McCabe's book deal, and they will try to go to that side. They're already talking about it on the left, but they're talking about how serious the problem is with Trump, that they felt they needed to do something.
Even with the no collusion decision.
Right. So they're rolling the book deal out for McCabe as a positive for him, and how we should be thankful that some in America that there was people trying to save us from this evil Donald Trump.
And they've got Scott Pelley, the shill for CBS, touting the 60-minute piece, which will air on Sunday night.
You know what I find interesting right now, not to switch gears, but how CBS got picked, because I believe, for you out there, I call it the deep state media, and I believe that ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, I believe they're all in cahoots. They all run the same narrative right down the road here, and they're working together. But it's like they all get different turns of running cover. So it might be MSNBC's week to run cover for something. But how did CBS get 2 things in a row? They got the Northam interview to run cover for him, okay, the governor from Virginia. CBS landed that. And obviously, if you watch that, changing gears, that interview, God, if that wasn't running cover for, I love Rush. What's his name? Ralph Northam, right? Northam, right? He does a great.
He does a pretty good job.
Ralph Northam there, and Virginia, and but anyhow, CBS got that interview and run cover. Now CBS has the McCabe interview. So I'm just kind of wondering how CBS.
Well, maybe because they're shopping themselves. They supposedly are, looking for a buyer, and so maybe the other networks say, "Hey, let's give these guys a little more stage time."
CBS is looking for a buyer?
Yeah.
Is that Viacom?
Go ahead.
And that's a worry that the Viacom part of the venture will take it over. Like, just all the news people are all getting nervous.
Go ahead.
So something strange started happening to my, I think it's not
social
Panasonic.
media account?
No, my television. There's Sony, Panasonic, and there's, what's the other one?
LG.
Samsung.
LG.
Samsung. Okay. So we were with our friend who's computer guru person, and we were at dinner, and he said, "Oh, by the way, have you heard about the Samsung and CBS collusion thing?" And I said, "No." He said, "Well, Samsung has downloaded CBS app on your Samsung computer, and you cannot
Your Samsung TV,
and you cannot get it off." And right then I said, about 3 weeks ago, our television, we're watching it, it goes black, and then a thing up here in this corner all by itself starts CBSN News right up there. I couldn't get it off. I couldn't make it go back. I didn't know how.
Really?
Called everyone, called this, called the cable. But what you do is now you push source, it opens it up, you have to take it back to what you're looking for. And like every 20 minutes for the first week, up CSB. And then on your bar when you want to go to Amazon or something, that CBSN is right in the middle of that bar.
Wait, is this your computer or your TV?
TV. Samsung has, and they've downloaded it and see if yours. So some of them, and so I've been hacked, and I can't do.
You go to Amazon on your TV?
Wait, yeah, wait. This is not coffee talk.
CBS.
This is not coffee talk with the group. Okay, let's say this is the all-star political
This
coffee
is important.
talk.
People need to look into CBS.
I didn't need anything on Amazon 65 inches. Excuse me.
Yeah, YouTube, everything. So, but CBSN has a thing. There's something.
Shift. It's like hockey. New shift coming in.
Yeah, new line.
Bring the new line in over the wall.
I'm connecting CBS with the government.
Okay, so the coup that we talked about. Let's. Although, does it disappear? Depends on
No,
what Lindsey
they will
Graham.
never
it
give up.
depends on what Lindsey Graham does because he's the guy running point on the Senate side.
Yeah, we got
okay.
Collins and Graham.
The wall, national emergency, the compromise. Who wants to go first on your feelings on the compromise? I'm going to kick off that I don't think.
Should we just leave now?
I'm going to kick off that I do not think the President of the United States should sign this. I do not. Now, I know...
It's a piece,
we
it's a
learned
piece
that
of
last
garbage.
night about 20 minutes after 5.
It's a piece of garbage. I agree with you.
Huh?
I agree with you.
Okay, the second thing, and then you got it. They have been looking for, the Democrats have been looking for something for 2 years to separate him from his base. They have been praying every day, oh, this will do it, this will do it. So every time the polling comes up, he is strong with that 38%. It will not move. No matter what he does, it will not move. They have been looking for the crack in the wall, no pun intended, in his base. And my opinion is when he signs it, they found it. I feel he's going to lose some base. I really do. I feel he's going to have some of his base say, you just can't sell me this piece of garbage and then tell me you're going to do a state of the emergency.
Well, you saw it in the vote. I mean, something like 55% of the Republicans voted against it in the House.
That's
So-
all we got. The other part are rhinos.
Right.
Well, I mean, the
So-
Democrats overwhelmingly supported it.
Duh.
Right.
What
What say anybody? Okay, the piece of legislation, start wherever, take off.
I just couldn't believe he would even consider signing that. I had no clue he would sign that. Then McConnell came out, oh Mitchie baby, and said, "I'm going to."
The turtle.
Oh, that's a nice way of putting it. And when he
Did
said,
you see that look I just got?
I'm going to encourage him to sign this. Right then I go, what? Uh-oh. Well, I'll tell you, I hope he won't sign it, but I will say that I think he's brilliant. And if he does sign it, he has a plan for it to backfire on them, I pray and I hope, because that's what's happened so far. I mean, I think it's a horrible bill. And if he signs it, I'll be disappointed, but I have to believe he has a plan. When he shut down the government, it made them look like they didn't really care. It didn't look so well for them either.
Well, I will say if he signs it, I just have
It's
to go
gonna be
straight.
bad.
My mental focus has to go straight to Hillary Clinton's not president. Hillary Clinton's not president.
There you go.
Hillary Clinton, and that's where
That's
I
our
gotta,
mantra.
That's where I got to go.
Yeah.
That's how upset I'm going to be. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you need to go in the sweat lodge this weekend and just.
Gonna have to. Just gonna have to. Bruce, you're exactly right.
He has to have a plan.
Well, there's aromatherapy massage. Put me down for an aromatherapy massage.
Coffee table talk? Yeah, we're
Okay.
sorry.
What say you? On
I agree with you that it from all accounts, again, none of us has seen the 1,200 pages, but the little bits and things that have come out sounds horrible.
All horrible.
I don't know if he's just focused on the big goal of the wall and all the other shit, can go by the boards.
Yeah, I agree. All that stuff is.
Yeah,
Is
and again, I don't know if he's looking 2 years ahead. He gets a different Congress. He can reverse it. He can. I don't know. I mean,
we don't know.
Chess versus checkers.
Okay, did you hear? Because there's so many things. Did you hear that actually it says the barrier cannot have concrete?
Yep.
Yeah, well, he's always talking about a big, beautiful steel wall anyway.
Yeah, but still,
That you can see through.
Yeah.
Yes, you,
So
you
they
need
can't.
to see
Yeah, but they
through
can't
it,
use
though.
concrete. What are they doing with the steel? Are they not digging a foundation of a
children.
footer and pouring steel to hold?
I think
Well, maybe it's visible concrete.
Yeah,
I don't know, but still, there's
Yeah, but
things
like,
He's
yeah,
saying it because he was going to build a concrete wall. It's just their little going.
Nothing-
Folks, we have a 2,000
Children.
mile border.
They're
We got
children.
55 miles, and some are saying that the 55 miles only includes actually repairing existing wall. I don't know.
Yeah, but about
I
a
can't-
third of that 2,000 miles is mountains, and they're never going to build
I agree.
anything.
Geographically, a border wall is not necessary geographically all the way across. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I want to go on record as saying that I disagree with your assessment of him losing the base.
You were told to say that.
My wife told me to say that.
I'm sorry I had to do it to him.
No, but she said, "Come over here and see what I'm writing." And I said, "You go, girl." And I totally agreed with
Oh,
her.
I love her so much. I love it. She immediately comes back.
Bam!
So you wait a minute now. Go. What? No. What did you say?
I disagree with the fact that you said that his base is this is the first time, and you know that's a good theory. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is.
But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think his base is so solid, and they trust him so much because of what he's accomplished that they're like Jane said, he's brilliant, and they're all hopeful that he's got a backdoor plan to keep implementing his strategies.
But that's fine for his base. But I mean, to get reelected, he's going to have that group of crossover independents and Dems. And I mean, is he going to lose them on this?
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
If you're checking, she's not tweeting you now.
No. But what I was going to say, I know you're not in the, on the social media world side of it, and I know the whole world is not Facebook. But I'll tell you what, I could take you through social media, and I could show you where it is blowing up.
They need to get
some big time
educated.
supporters are educated. Okay, they are educated. All right, here's a gem, and this is from the Dustin Inman Society. Okay, and I know who this is out here. Here's a gem from the spending bill. Section 224 says that ICE may not remove any sponsor or potential sponsor or member of a household of a UAC that's de facto sanctuary for anyone near a
Unaccompanied
UAC. Huh?
Unaccompanied child.
Right.
Adult child.
Ridiculous.
I think they
30 to
said
40%. Ridiculous. 30 to 40% of MS-13 arrests have been UACs. This is the stuff, and this is blowing up. This is blowing up. I know you disagree, but I do think this is.
It's serious.
The scary thing is this is maybe small, but there's going to be a divide in his base now.
Okay, what about a continuing resolution for a week then, until he says no, I won't accept this, this, and this, even though he doesn't have line item
That would be
veto
great.
power.
There's always a chance at 10 o'clock he's going to do that.
Yeah, there's a chance, and that's been talked about.
He's going to come out at 10.
He didn't sleep much
10 a.m.
last
in
night.
the Rose Garden.
10 a.m.
10
Eastern.
a.m. in the Rose Garden. The minute our show goes off, folks, you can click right over there, 10 a.m. in the Rose Garden. He's going to come out and address this. So, okay.
You know, they might put a week of continuing resolution in there.
So, you disagree with me? Okay.
I disagree with you on the point that he's going to lose his base.
Not
Or
his
there's
base.
going to be a crack in the.
He's going to make a lot of
a
people
wedge in the
really
base.
angry,
Yeah.
and they're going to
Well,
reconsider.
they even said that there'll be a resolution coming out of the House, on something or other, and even if it goes to the Senate, they said Murkowski, Collins, all them could maybe cross over, so there'd be,
What did you tell me? 55 Republicans in the House said no, somewhere in that area.
Yeah,
on this?
somewhere
right,
around there.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that is a fracture in his base. You realize the ones that said no are the strongest to his base. I will guarantee you this. Go look at the 55 that said no.
55%. It was over 100.
55%.
It was over
Okay.
100.
Over 100.
Yeah.
So go look at the 100. We'll go with the 100. We'll just use a number for the point. Go look at those that said no to this. Then go to their district and see about their district and see the ones that said no on the Republican side. That's his base. I'm just telling you, that's his base. And if they said no, that translates to the people back home that have been calling their office and blowing up the phone saying, no, you don't vote for it. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I just keep coming back to Mulvaney, though. When Mulvaney came on all the networks and said, and he admitted that the first shutdown had a negative effect on the economy. And I think, what?
No.
I think there'd be some serious backlash if he doesn't sign it, if he shuts it down.
All right, well, wait a minute.
Because of the, because,
Like we talked about when the shutdown happened, and also this China deal. How much pain will Americans take?
Exactly.
We've
Bruce,
talked
you're
about-
100%
Well, we're going to
right.
have to take some pain
Right.
to get
But
over
it's
this
every
hump.
subject.
Everything's so fast now.
That
Everybody-
actually, what you said that
And
day,
everyone's
right
so
over here at Sycamore
pansy.
Crossing, you're 100% right, because I looked at you and you said, it's how much pain will the American people endure? And what you said that day actually doubles to every single subject, not just trade. How much pain will the American people endure to get the wall the right way? Folks, look at the $1 billion boondoggle that's been wasted out there in California on the bullet train, okay? You and I could sit here and we could do a whole show on the billions of dollars of waste, and we're talking about 5.7.
The bait and switch.
Okay.
That proposition passed in 2008. They didn't break ground on this thing till 2015. 7 years after they got approval from the voters by 53 to 47 to spend $10 billion. They've already spent $4 billion.
Yeah, 3.8, something like that. You're right.
And the new, they're saying it's going to cost 77 billion to 100 billion to do the original.
I know I'm using some round numbers, but I understand
It's crazy.
in this bill, $9 billion goes back into EPA.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We are totally reversing the 2 years
That's what they're trying to do.
They're totally reversing the 2 years that we really took this behemoth, the EPA,
And stripped it.
And stripped it, and now they're pushing $9 billion back in.
Well, the thing is, the people that I said some people need to get educated, what I meant was they need to be more aware. Some people say this country can never be communistic, it can never be socialistic. If Hillary had won, it would have already been. I mean, our rights would be diluted. And with this green bill, we say that's ridiculous. Do you see how many people are standing behind it just to go out there and then get what they can get to come back?
Well, the Democrats are fear-mongering. They're saying, okay, the
they
next
are.
president could say climate change is a national
can,
emergency.
and
Guns could
So
be a
talk
national
about
emergency.
the pain.
Climate change.
Where does it go?
guns.
The pain we have to go through is important because we will be socialistic or communistic if we don't
wait, but
do
let me say this, okay? And yes, I'm upset with the deal. I don't think it is a deal. I think it's a
Right.
joke to call it a deal. I get angry. No, I'm serious. I go to angry every time I hear the word damn bipartisan. Oh, that
Yeah.
just shoots me to the moon when I hear bipartisan. I don't want to hear bipartisan and put people like Richard Shelby and Patrick Leahy together and then have the Jewish guy with the glasses on the tip of his nose say, Mr. President, sign this bill. I'm sorry. That just sends me
Up
off.
Chuck Schumer?
Yeah.
So I guess you're
Check
against
up.
reaching across
Up
the
check.
aisle.
Bruce, I know you didn't say it. Oh,
What did he
could you
say?
hit him for me?
What did he say? What did he say?
Give him a shot. Now, I said Jewish guy. I obviously I've blown up the whole world and I've offended everybody. But did you see how the
Sounds like you're going to Minnesota.
I'm going to Minnesota and the Muslim congresswoman? Okay, I'll say it if nobody else will. That does not like Jews. Period.
That's
This
a
woman
fact.
does not like Jews.
Yeah.
Did you see the attack on? Is it Abrams?
Elliot Abrams.
Elliot Abrams,
Yeah.
a Jewish fella, the other day. Did you see that attack that she levied on him?
The
Did you
senior
see-
ambassador to
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
troubleshooter for
Right.
Venezuela. Yeah.
Now he did plead guilty in 1991 in the
Two
Iran
counts.
Contra to 2 counts of not conveying information to Congress, not sharing information, and they were misdemeanors. And I'm not making. And then he was immediately pardoned for them.
Yeah.
And she took him to task.
Yeah, she treated him pretty rudely.
So yes, she did. She's anti-Semitic, but now they're trying to turn around and say, well, look at what Trump has said over.
Oh, he talked about the Steyer and some of the
Right.
other, Jewish billionaires that have supported the Democratic Party.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's apples and
I don't-
oranges.
I
It's,
don't think
it's
it
not
even
even the same.
compares.
It's
It
not even
doesn't
the same
come
thing.
close.
No. I mean, it's a very weak attempt at a rebuttal.
Okay, well, listen, folks out there. I got some bad news. Not bad news, but bad news. They had a minor situation over at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge to where they're not able to bring a pet this morning because they have they're shorthanded and some things going on, so they can't bring a pet. Just got a message. So we're sorry to announce now that we're not going to have our pet of the week. Jessie Barton is here with us, but if she will move a couple minutes, can you be okay with that to close? Oh, she is. She has said she will.
It was a close vote.
North Georgia Senior Living will close our show today with Jesse Barton. Jesse and I will close the show today, so you do want to stay around for that. So that means you have a couple more minutes. That's what I was getting to. So pick another subject. Pick something out there. Who's next?
We're going straight through, right? No break.
No break.
Okay.
I should take a break, but I'm not going to.
Okay,
I
cool.
want to give you all the time, Bruce. What's your subject? Bring it up. What do you got?
Go to one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. What do you think, Jane?
Well, I keep seeing Pocahontas say, I wasn't part of the tribe, I just misspoke, though that's what my great-great-great-grandmother told me from her grave. I mean, that's just obnoxious, and I was watching a speech with her last night on the news, and
I love the
think
piece
she
on Fox
is
this morning
disgusting.
that highlighted her, among others, saying that the presidential candidates are acting like they're running for president of their high school class.
Wait, let me just say here, what Jane is talking about is Elizabeth Warren, the Democrat senator from Massachusetts, that obviously on her state bar application in Texas wrote, Native American, okay,
race,
and
Native
we're going to
American.
fast forward to Pocahontas, right?
Yeah, saying I wasn't part of the tribe. I'm not a part of it.
I like what you just said. They're all running for who can be.
I'm running on a vegan platform. Everybody should be a vegan and no more beef. I'm running on. I had some of the devil's lettuce when I was in college, and I inhaled. Give me a break, folks.
Yeah, I smoked weed. I could roll a doobie.
Yeah,
and I listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac 2 years before they were even making music.
Exactly. So that's Kamala Harris.
She was really stoned.
You guys, we keep saying
Spartacus Booker.
Spartacus, we must stop the cows and the cheese, man. The cheese has got to end immediately.
Right.
That's Spartacus.
Right.
This is so bizarre.
No more slicing the beef and no more cutting the cheese.
Well,
no more airplanes. No more cars.
That's the Green Deal.
I know, but it's all.
Yeah. Next time you go to Hawaii, you can take the train.
Yeah. Right.
You take
water ski over there.
the defunct train from California, from San Francisco. So here's what I like.
It's just a joke.
All of it is bizarre, and they're saying it out loud.
Yes, they're saying it out loud, and then on this new Green Deal, okay, Cory Booker, and they're all signing on to this new Green Deal. And it's humorous because I heard somebody the other day make a comment that these people go to the grocery store or go to the meat market, and they think the guy in the little white, thing is actually in the back growing the steak that they get. They don't know nothing about Middle America, and they're at the meat market, and I would like that ground chuck at 2 pounds of that, and they think the guy goes in the back and they grow it there or something.
Yeah.
But it's really if if you're going to get rid of the cattle and the flatulence, I love the cartoon that's going around social media and the liberal is saying to the cow, I'm looking for the methane in the cow. Says, pull my hoof, pull my hoof. I'll get you some methane real quick.
But this whole thing segues in a little bit to the deal that has gone on with Amazon in New York.
Thank you. I was going to go there. Hey, you pronounce her name. You do a great job.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
One more time.
Cortez.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
He does such a great job, folks. She has already lost her district 25,000 jobs. I mean,
but she's happy about it.
She's dancing about it.
She's excited. She lost. And Amazon. Here's the funny thing: is Mario up there? Mario, was that Mario? Is that who it is?
Cuomo.
Yeah, Cuomo. Mario Cuomo.
He is so mad.
He is blowing up. He's so liberal. They're also
how liberal is he?
But they're also liberal. And then you got De Blasio, that is a total whack job. And Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, that is, and they're like, oh, here's the thing: is Amazon, you're liberal too. Why would you do this to us? Because the bottom line, no matter how liberal these corporations come out and Bezos comes out and says things in the Washington Post, it's still about their business and their money.
Greedy corporations.
Right. They're not gonna stay. And here you got de Blasio. Well, they just picked up the phone. I picked up the phone. They said, we're out of here. Wait a minute. We're all friends. We're all liberals and progressives and everything together. You mean you'll just leave us? Yeah, we're a business. So
Cuomo's got his own battles. I mean, he's got people leaving New York in droves because of the income tax.
And he's admitted it as such. He said that the rich leave, we're up a creek without a paddle.
Well, and he had a meeting with Trump about it. And what did Trump do? He went to the abortion side.
Exactly. So I will say this: it's humorous because they want a rich tax. They want to tax the rich. Okay, a millionaire's tax, but the millionaires
are smart enough to leave.
Leaving, and they're in trouble.
Guess what? We got a choice.
That's happening. That's happening in Connecticut, Rhode Island, California.
Oh, California's got billions of dollars unfunded liabilities that they'll never be able to meet, and that's coming to a head.
I mean, as dumb as Joe Scarborough is, he even left.
Yeah, he went to Florida.
He went to Florida.
Yeah.
I'm not putting up with
why,
this.
Why wouldn't you go somewhere else? But remember a long time ago when the elections were kind of going and we said, well, what's changing the red states are liberal companies coming into and bringing...
Yes, absolutely.
So if I don't want Amazon in Georgia.
Nope.
Because they're going to bring more liberal voters, and that can change...
I tell you where I'm at on
That's
that.
Pretty scary.
I agree with you, but I want them to come to Georgia if they decide that's where they want to be, and I want all these corporate tax abatement to end. Okay, I want these deals to end all across the country.
You mean the incentives they offer?
Yeah, the tax abatement, right? The incentives. I want it to end. Now I understand states are competing for these corporations to come in, and states are competing for them to come in and build their headquarters, and they give them these massive incentives, and then they tell you and I out here that if the people come in, they'll buy houses, they'll pay property tax, they'll do this, and it'll actually work out to the revenue will go up is how they sell us on it. But I think if Amazon wants to come to Georgia, our tax structure should be X. And if you start a business with 12 employees, that's your tax structure. And if you bring 25,000 in, that's your tax structure. Come on in, you're welcome.
Governor Deal has been lauded for all this economic growth, but he didn't do it without incentives.
Oh,
Texas didn't do it
the
without
movie
incentives.
industry's gotten huge incentives.
And Atlanta is not one of the cities that's chasing after Amazon anymore.
Nashville and D.C.
There's 4 cities. D.C.
Nashville and D.C. I thought were down.
Nashville was one.
Kentucky
Yeah.
was
So,
saying.
But that being said, Amazon, right? I find out that we find out this week. What is it said that they haven't paid taxes in 2 years, zero tax in 2 years.
Corporate tax.
Corporate tax. in
And
2
so,
years.
where would we be if our little corporations didn't pay tax?
Hey, listen. I want to make sure it's clear because there's not enough time. I have a major problem with corporate welfare in this country. Major problem with it, and I know the other people that come out on the stage and yell corporate welfare is not in my group. But I'm going to tell you something. We supplement these corporations, and it needs to just be told we do not need a mandated minimum wage. We do not need a mandated minimum wage. But if we would stop all the subsidies to people, okay, the minimum wage would go to the point for people to live on its own, period, not mandated.
that to me is such a hard definition of what's a wage that people can live, Because if it's just a single guy or a married couple, that's different. You got 3 kids. So,
No, I understand. So I'm not getting down to the dollar, but I'm saying like this. Let me tell you something, okay? You want to go there?
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Okay.
You go down there, apartment, $800. You can't have a family of 4. This apartments are $800. I live in LJ. You're having a hard time finding apartments for $600. I'm telling you, it's not very nice. Okay, so you can't even find a house for rent for $800. Bottom line, all right. So you go over to work at one of the big box places, and they say, well, we pay $7.75 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you go somewhere and you get a subsidy for that $800. Okay. You get a subsidy for
Because the governments are sensitive to the high price of housing.
Absolutely. So you get a subsidy.
Okay.
Then you get a subsidy for food. And you get a subsidy for this and that. Okay? So realistically, we're meeting the other end of the cost of living, the taxpayers, for the box store, whether you like it or not. I don't know how I sound, but if you have zero subsidies, you don't have all of these, you don't have rent assistance, you've got nothing, then guess what? When you go down to Mr. Employer and you say, I'd like to get a job here as a cashier, we'll use that, and they say we pay $8.50 an hour, that's fine. You just
But there's upside. You
What's-
could get into management.
Yeah, you can look at it.
Work
any
your
way you
way
want.
up.
We have to. It's the corporate welfare in this country that the taxpayers pay and supplement is enormous, and it should stop. And then, guess what that's called? And nobody ever wants. That's called true capitalism, and that's true supply and demand. And you walk in and you say, well, I'd love to work here, but my rent's $800 a month, not $400 because it's subsidized. It's $800.
We're getting to Atlas Shrugged territory, aren't we?
Well, I'm just telling you. Sorry, didn't mean to go down that route.
No, but it's.
Do you understand?
But the politicians are complicit in that because they.
Yes, because that keeps the people where they need them.
Yeah, and then they get votes by saying, I'm a champion for the people.
I know it's a mess.
It is.
I can reach across the aisle and work with you.
Brooks, if stop reaching.
Here's the aisle. Don't reach on my way, all
Rick,
right?
I've asked you to hit him once.
Yeah, I know.
On air. Okay, winners and losers. Final thoughts.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Start over there.
Okay, I just wanted to read a little quote from Ronald Reagan going back to our first segment. Politics is not a bad profession. If you succeed, there are many rewards. If you disgrace yourself, you can always write a book.
And boy,
Mr.
they're all
McCabe.
doing it, aren't they?
Yeah. My winner of the week is California citizens for the train thing that's going away, kind of. I mean, they're still on the hook for some because Newsom said, I'm going to continue
Bait and switch.
one segment. Yeah, so bait and switch. But
We're running to Sacramento now instead of San Francisco.
yeah, and the loser, I would say, is Long Island, Sydney, New York. All their dreams and aspirations of Amazon coming in or out the window. Housing rates went up, asking prices for houses, and now they're all singing the blues.
Absolutely.
There you go. Incentives or not.
And my loser of the week's going to be Kamala Harris. She took a pounding on that interview she did with that radio show in the morning. She just took an absolute pounding. And I'll come back to my winner. You go ahead.
Yeah, Kamala's good. AOC is a good loser. I mean, she just made a fool
let
of
us know.
herself. Yeah, I mean,
AOC.
they've made so many of them have made fools of themselves this last week, in my view, that I think they're just ridiculous.
Well, the crowded ticket's got to make room now for
Yeah.
Uncle Joe. He's supposedly going to jump in.
Joe.
Really?
Yeah.
Joe.
Stand up,
Joe
Chuck.
goes
Stand
to
up,
Gitmo.
Chuck. Stand up,
He'll
Chuck.
be 77 in November.
That man is a.
You think Joe Biden's getting in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I've heard reports on Fox. They think
say
he's
this-
the lead runner. He's
Well,
the
they say
lead
this
candidate.
this time if he runs for president, he's already run 8 times or something, jokingly. But they say if Biden runs this time, he may crack that 4% mark. He's always that was his threshold.
4%.
Remember? Yeah,
Oh,
they tell
yeah.
you, but Biden never could crack
But they're gonna-
double digits when he ran before.
They're going to roll all those creepy Joe pictures, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
You know what?
So-
You know the pictures they're going to run of Joe Biden.
Well, I know where some are they wouldn't
You
want
know,
to
you know the ones they're going to run. You want to see?
Let me show you.
Yeah.
listen, there's some that go a little farther down.
Don't hit me. Rick's supposed
I
to hit
wasn't going to
Bruce.
hit you.
You're
He's
not
going
supposed
to
to hit me.
fondle you.
Somebody's completely behind the girl.
He's a,
Oh my God!
He's
some
a
of those-
fondler coming
Some of
this
those
way.
pictures, and when they had
You
when
can't
they,
show your
when they
grandkids
had
those.
Confirmations or swearing-ins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's rubbing the lady's
I was
shoulder.
like, oh my God, Joe, back
Joe,
away,
gee.
back away.
Did you see?
And there's the one picture where the husband's looking at him like,
Yeah.
what?
He's,
oh,
he's
and the little
creepy.
girls are like this. But who was the? My brain's going crazy.
Mine is too. And I'm-
Attorney General that Sessions. When Sessions was there, he absolutely took his Biden's hand and knocked it away, just from his granddaughter.
All right, go
He
back. You were
knocked it.
losers, winners.
Those were the losers. I'm trying to think of a winner. Someone think
Help
of
me.
one. Who?
The name escapes me and it's killing me. Help me, guys. You're going to come up with it in a second. Who was one of the co-star in Forrest Gump? The guy that was
Gary Sinise.
Sinise. I kept
I
thinking
love that guy.
Steve Scalise, and I knew it. Yeah,
Gary Sinise.
He came out with a book this week, and he's going to be my winner because it talked about the foundation that he started with his wife and how much good he does for the veterans.
Amen.
Did Jesse's shaking her head back there?
Yeah,
Yes,
he does a lot.
you can talk about it when you come on. The guy is just amazing, and if you can reprise that interview he did on YouTube, and I think it was with Cavuto. He did a brilliant interview.
He did one on Fox and Friends, too.
Yeah, and that guy really should be lauded for what he's done for
He's
the
done
veterans.
a lot of great work, a.k.a. Captain Dan, right?
There you go.
A.k.a.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, yeah. I'm sorry that I couldn't remember the name, but that was my winner, and that's
That's a
why.
good winner this week, and I have to go with you on that. That was very good. Did you come up
Sounds
with a winner?
good.
Hawaii?
Don't waste your winner.
Hawaii was-
you don't want to waste your. Make me the winner. vote for me. I'm like Rick said, the high school year. I'm running for a high school class president. Vote for me.
Extra French fries for everybody.
Yeah. I'm going to put a vending machine in.
I think we're kind of in a mess. I don't know if we have a winner. Gary Sinise is a great one.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
There's just so much negative that my brain is in that.
Yeah.
All right, folks, thank you very much. I love the All-Star Political Panel. We have such a great time here. We hope you enjoy this 45 minutes that we get together on Friday. We try to take some serious topics, have a little fun with them, and enjoy it, but at the same time bring some serious information. Now, one thing we did not talk about today, and I want to close with, is, Virginia is no longer just for lovers. You remember, it used to be for lovers, but now it's for, races, Democrat races, sexual predators. The list goes on. And that got pushed off the shelf here a little bit, as Bruce brought up earlier, this coup against the president. Would they get pushed off the shelf? But, you got Ralph Northam there, the Virginia governor. Still yet, I'm amazed at the citizens and the voters of Virginia that you put him in office, and I hope how soon you realize, sorry to say, the mistake you made. There's the abortion issue, don't want to just put it like that started this. There's then the blackface issue, where he was then with the Grand Wizard in a picture of the KKK there in his yearbook. But his interview, okay? And I find it interesting. I make a joke. I call him, I think his name's Justin Fairfax, but I call him Lord Justin Fairfax because he's a descendant of Lord Justin Fairfax. Found out this past week after Ralph Northam, the governor's interview, that he is the great-great-great-grandson of an African indentured servant that came to Virginia. This is what the governor of Virginia said in an interview, that in, I think, 1690, he said celebrate. We're getting ready to celebrate our history of, in 1619, our first indentured servants from Africa. Now, if you studied American history, you see the contract that people were making with the king there to come over here and work for others to pay back debts. I don't think the slaves that got loaded up on a boat signed that contract. And just that alone, I do not understand how this man is in office today. But he's doing a listening tour right now, and he's reading the book Roots by Alex Haley.
You're back with the governor, not Justin Fairfax.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So that's the governor.
He knew that.
Now we gloss clear over the attorney general that thought he was in a rap group and put blackface on, so we've crossed over him. And then now we're back to Lord Fairfax. He is the lieutenant governor. Why's the black guy got to take all the heat? Right? It's like the movies. They always say, Why do you got to kill the black guy first in the movie? So Justin Fairfax right now has two accusers. One says that he raped her. The other one says that he forced her into a sexual act, okay, that she was not wanting to participate in. Period. But here, Justin Fairfax is the one that they may be pushing out the door. It's a mess in Virginia, but that's who they are. That's who the Democrats are in Virginia. That's who they are. You need to know it. And hopefully that will play well in 2020 for Republicans. I think the President of the United States hopefully will tell us something from the Rose Garden. But right now, I do feel this is the first thing in his presidency that does fracture the base. I really do. And I wish him well for the best of our country. And I do hope if he declares a national emergency, which I was hoping he did not, that he will get the money and build the wall. But I think he went backward with some of the percent on the base. Watch the polling this coming week. I'm your host, BKP. Guys, I appreciate you, always do. We're going to take a brief break, and it's time for North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton right after this in the beautiful Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. All right, guys, good?
Good.
Yeah. I say good.
All good.
God bless America.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
The leaves aren't the only thing falling in Jasper. The prices are falling too at Days Chevrolet. Now during the model year end clearance, get huge savings up to $14,000 off Chevy Silverado Crew Cab and save up to $7,000 off new Chevy Cruze. The prices are falling on every 2018 Chevy in stock during the model year end clearance. Going on now at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
8 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Hey folks, we're back, and I'm your host BKP. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and it's now time for North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton. Jesse, how are you?
I'm good. You're looking all dapper in your blazer. I wanted to dress my t-shirt up, so I maybe need to get a blazer for myself.
There you go. I go through phases where, and somebody said to me the other day, said, I used to wear a jacket like every day. Didn't matter what I put on, just put on jacket. And somebody said the other day, why don't you put on a jacket anymore? And I said, okay, I'll get back to that. So I'm back to that.
Well, I'm very, we have Casual Friday at Cameron Hall. And while I love wearing my blue jeans, it feels like it's how we were talking about two worlds colliding. I feel like my weekend is colliding with my professional world. And it's very hard for me to wear our blue jeans. But then if I dress up on Fridays, then I'm out of place. So I've got to figure out a way to dress them up. So I'm thinking of...
Yeah, you got a whole dilemma there. We'll see if you can't get that corrected between now and next week. I see what you're working on there. The stress level has got to be through the roof.
Standing in the closet. What?
What do I do?
I wear my little scarf.
But it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Jesse, before we get on to our topic, let's remind people that Cameron Hall, this is Cameron Hall tomorrow is it. Tomorrow, Fire and Ice in downtown Blue Ridge. Cameron Hall is entered there, and you're going to bring what you think is some award-winning chili.
I know it is, because it already won Resident's Choice.
There's a little rumor says that you've already been working the judges too. I don't know. Just saying. I mean,
wait. This isn't the political segment.
Okay. Just check.
Underhanded.
I heard you were out schmoozing with the judges already, saying hello. I'm just saying. You know how it goes. Anyhow,
I'm innocent.
Tomorrow
Tomorrow
is the first time you guys have entered.
We're very excited.
Now, let me explain. Fire and Ice is downtown Blue Ridge tomorrow, and you come there, and there's going to be several categories of judging. I don't know how many. Do you know how many people are in the chili cook-off? I don't know how many.
Heard.
They have had, I don't want to say this is the number, but they have had as many as 18 plus.
Wow.
Now, the reason it's called Fire and Ice, Rock on Ice is the largest, most famous ice sculpture in the South, period, okay? And businesses in the city all throughout the week have placed these great, beautiful ice sculptures everywhere for you to walk around the city and look at them. And also, while you're putting chili out to the people tomorrow, right behind you, you're going to hear the chainsaws and everything going, because Rock on Ice will actually be doing ice sculptures right there in the park. So that's the ice, Fire and Ice, and the fire is the chili. So you guys did a resident's choice. So
we did. We had 2 different chili creations. They were both phenomenal, and the residents got to vote on aroma, the look, the taste, the spiciness, the level of hotness.
you guys are taking this serious.
I'm telling you, we're going for the award.
So
We're winning.
you went to the resident's choice, and you're not going to reveal that to us until tomorrow when you show up and find out, because there was 2 chilies.
2 chilies.
And tomorrow you'll find out when you stop by Cameron Hall.
Yes.
I don't want to give bad information, but I do know generally, because I've been there going to Fire and Ice for several years. But what you do is you go and you get a chili card. You pay for a card, and it has all of the contestants' numbers on there. And you are the People's Choice Award. And what you do is you go to every one, and you hand the contestants your card. They give you a little thing of chili. You taste it, and they will mark off that you have been to their booth, and then you go and turn in who you think has the best chili. So we have the People's Choice, and then we have some other, and we have a lot of judges.
Yep. And then from what I understand, from like 3 to 5 is your opportunity to actually come buy a big bowl of chili. So rather than a tasting sample, you can go to your favorite chilies and then go buy a huge bowl.
Well, what happens is yes, you're right. You have your card, and you go through all the chilies and you taste them, and then you turn in your vote for People's Choice Award on the chilies, and then at 3 o'clock you can then go back to the ones you've enjoyed the most and actually purchase bowls of chili then at 3 o'clock. So you guys ready to go?
We are. We're excited.
Okay.
We're loading the truck up today. I told Brian, I was like, by the way, I have to drive your truck this week.
By the way, I have to drive the truck. So now what else were we talking about? We were talking about power of attorney, right?
We wanted to do some segments on what documents do we have to have in place. So kind of previewed it last week. I talked to one of my attorney friends. They could not be here because they are a little ways away, so it was an early morning and hard to be here this morning. But I wanted to share, they actually sent out an email, and I was reading through, and they're like, we tend to think that saying, you know what, I just want to stay home. If I get sick, I want to be in my house. Or if this happens, I want to be in my house. So what happens is that expectation realistic? I mean, can your family realistically afford or have the physical means to take care of somebody at home? So why do we make plans? What is the benefit of making plans? People don't want to think about it, but just to kind of briefly cover this one, this is an 88-year-old woman recently diagnosed with mild cognitive impairment. She lived alone. She had a daughter. She wanted to remain in the home, refused to move in with the daughter, would not even consider assisted living. She didn't want to live around old people, was her reasoning. However,
and how old was she?
She was 88.
And she didn't want to be around old people?
Right.
I got it. I understand.
Right. So she started having trouble keeping her medication straight. 911 was having to be called several times over the last few months. Some hospitalizations occurred. She got really weak, so she had to go to a rehab facility. Her daughter then moved her into an assisted living home because she realized at this point Mom did not need to be home by herself. So what happened is all of a sudden this lady's decisions were taken away in a manner of speaking, because she had not made prior arrangements as to what would happen if. And so that's why we want to have these documents in place. So her daughter had tried to get her to look at an assisted living before, tried to get her to go to an attorney to line up all the right documents. The little 88-year-old woman canceled every appointment. And so suddenly, where she didn't want to make the decisions, in essence, by not making a decision, she made a decision to let her daughter end up making the decision. So people think, oh, I don't want to make those decisions. I don't want to give somebody else the power to do that. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about financial power of attorney. Financial power of attorney would give your appointed agent the ability to pay your bills, take care of your financial affairs, help take care of your banking. And so then the first response or the first defense against it is, well, what if they take all my money? So A, choose somebody that's trusting to be your appointed financial power of attorney. And then B, in 2017, the Georgia legislature enacted the Georgia's Uniform Power of Attorney Act. So what this means is that if I appoint you to be power of attorney for me, and I need my assisted living costs paid, but instead you go buy a Corvette, you can now be held liable under that new Uniform Power of Attorney Act. So there are things that the Georgia legislature put in place.
Well, in an entire act, there's a lot of key words with it. The key word to me there is Georgia Uniform Power of Attorney. Uniform's the key word there.
Exactly.
Basically, not just a blanket power of attorney of, there's $200,000 in an account. You can write the power of attorney in a uniform manner that says my finances need to go for X, X, and X. Right. Now I'm giving you the authority to pay X, X, and X, but that's where it needs to go.
Exactly.
Did I get it right?
Exactly. So if you don't do that,
and I may no longer at this age be able to do that. So I do need somebody that I trust to do that.
Sure.
But the uniform power of attorney says I can mandate how that's going to work.
It does. It does. And you can definitely put some very specific key things.
Right.
I've seen it as specific as this power of attorney has the ability to act on behalf of in the selling of XYZ property. And that may be the only thing they appoint the power of attorney for. So if they don't act in the manner that they're appointed to, they can now be held liable. So it gives the person who's making the power of attorney, it gives them some satisfaction to know that they'll be protected and their bills can be paid. What happens if you don't have a power of attorney? If you don't appoint somebody to take care of your bills, you're probably going to get behind. You're going to start missing out on your financial things, but most likely a petition for conservatorship will have to go to the probate court. What conservatorship is a lot of times it's either a CPA, some kind of financial advisor, or even an attorney who's been appointed to pay those bills on your behalf. So all of a sudden your financial capacity is given to somebody who's not even related to you, who may not even really know you until they meet you at court. So, want to have a financial power of attorney in place. You can pull them off the internet. They're usually like a little 2-page thing. My professional opinion is go to an attorney, because those are very generic, very just fill in the blank kind of things, and it gives a really big blanket overview.
Folks, my recommendation here, and not to overstep what we're talking about, but my recommendation is to make sure, first of all, I like the story of the lady's 88 and she doesn't want to go to an assisted living because she doesn't want to be around old people.
Yeah.
I love that part about it, but there's the reality that we have to accept, that some days we don't want to accept, and it's best when those things times come to our life that we're actually dealing with it with loved ones, people that are close, and we have things in place, and we're not forced into decisions and forced into things that we're not prepared to do.
Right.
That being said, so it's easier to work on it now, and you go to the attorney, and you say you want a uniform. Now, I guess power of attorney is power of attorney, but make sure you request a uniform power of attorney and how you want to delegate your finances to be handled.
Absolutely.
And then name the person that you trust to handle that for you.
Right. And just because you give this person financial power of attorney does not mean that you no longer take care of your own stuff. The financial power of attorney is in place in case the worst happens and you lose that capacity. Heaven forbid there's an auto accident that somebody was in. They can't make those financial decisions at that time. So you still have you're still independent with your finances. You still take care of them. That is in place to protect you if and when the time comes that you can't do those things any longer and you want to have very specific instructions followed, or you want to have somebody in place that can kind of make it seamless, pick up the stuff and go with it.
Jesse, I can't say enough about how much we appreciate you coming and bringing this information on this segment. We wish you well tomorrow. Everybody at Cameron Hall, we wish you well in the chili cook-off. You're gonna have so much fun. So go downtown tomorrow in Blue Ridge to Fire and Ice. Two things: go to Fire and Ice, and while you're there, stop by and say hello at Cameron Hall and check out that chili. I want to know which one won the Resident's Choice there. We thank Jesse very much for North Georgia Senior Living. Anything that we talk about, any of these things right here, that's what she does. She's the community relation director there, so if you'd like to have a one-on-one discussion with her about any of the subjects we bring up here concerning you maybe being interested in assisted living, or you have a family member you want to talk about, get in touch with Jesse Barton from Jesse Barton at Cameron Hall. Phone number, please.
706-515-4100.
Jesse would love to talk to you. Now, folks, all of these segments, North Georgia Senior Living, you go to our YouTube channel, FYN TV, Fetcher News, hit the playlist, and it's archived there. Look for North Georgia Senior Living, and all of our segments are on there, and you can share them with your friends. Again, Fire and Ice tomorrow in Blue Ridge. Say hello to Jesse and the rest of all of our friends down there. And Circuit World, we appreciate you very much. We're in Circuit World at Blue Ridge. We're going to take the rest of the day. I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of the day. I might just take the rest of the day off. I might. We don't know. But I do know we'll be back Monday morning, 8 a.m. Take us out of here, Josh.